Hello again and welcome back to that handicapping show. I'm Tom Lamara along with Pete Dank, and we've got a couple really good races that we're looking at this weekend. They're both grade 2. Some people could argue that they're probably grade 1 races, but we don't make those decisions. The Delaware Handicap, $750,000 for fillies and mares at Delaware Park, and the Virginia Derby at 1.25 miles on the turf. Good fields, some real class in these races. We're going to start with the Del Cap, which is also at 1.25 miles, but it's on the dirt. Royal Delta's been pointing for this race ever since her victory in the Fleur-de-Lis, and she's been working well for this race. She's expected to ship up the morning of the race. So Pete, you like Royal Delta, I know that. So why don't you talk about her a little bit, and a few of the other horses that you think may have an impact.
You know, this race looks like, at the top, it looks like a clash between Royal Delta and Awesome Maria, who has run some huge races in the last couple of years, mostly at Gulfstream Park, and she beat Royal Delta handily early this year, but that was Royal Delta's first race of the year. She stumbled at the start, and I think that speed favor in Gulfstream Strip and then 1.25 miles at Delaware are two pretty different race scenarios. I think Royal Delta's the best American filly in training.
All right.
I mean,
all right.
She was the 3-year-old champ. She won the Breeders' Cup Ladies Classic, and she looked like she took a big step forward in the Fleur-de-Lis. I've written a bit about that race. It was just so impressive on so many levels. She carried a lot of weight. The fractions were great, and she was under restraint the final 8th, just drawing off. Ran a full second faster than Grade 1 males ran in the Stephen Foster. So I'm certainly not going to bet against her here. I don't know what she's going to be in the win pool. So
let's say we'll shoot for 2 to 5, maybe 3 to 5.
All right, I'm going to pass on that. So maybe this is a race where I could spread in the try and hope that maybe we can run Awesome Maria out of the try. I don't know. A couple of horses that looked interesting to me. Love and Pride. She's never been 1.25 miles, but she's got the pedigree to go 1.25 miles, and she prepped over the Delaware surface. That's a good thing at a track like this. So the other horse I liked a little bit was Patch Attack. She's got some 1.25 mile form at least, and most of these don't. So that's my strategy going into this race. But really, this is more of an entertainment race for me than a wagering race. I want to see Royal Delta run again against top fillies, because she really didn't beat anything great in the Fleur-de-Lis.
Right. Yeah, her last race, you're right. I think she did step up. Watching her run, she wanted to go early. She was 3rd. She was close to the pace, or closer than usual. And when Mike Smith said go, it was over. I would expect a good effort again today. She did draw the rail, so she can take back and make her move outside. The horse that I'm going to use with Royal Delta, and for the purposes of the show, we'll play to win is Cash for Clunkers. Love and Pride does bother me because of her speed. Cash for Clunkers, again, is also a very fast filly. She's coming out of those long one-turn races in New York, 1.25 miles for the first time. Actually has not even raced 1.1 miles, but I'm willing to take a shot on her. Tisnell out of a Dixieland Band mare. Trainer Rick Violet seems pretty high on her, and he says that he's anxious to try her in this race. If you're playing tries, I kind of agree with Pete. Grab the 1 or the 2 horses and just throw everybody else in, because there could be a speed duel. Somebody may run a big race from off the pace. So really good race, and there's a co-feature, a grade 3 for, I think, 3-year-olds on the grass on the undercard at Delaware Park. Colonial Downs, the Virginia Derby. Well, Silver Max was entered in the Arlington race last week, scratched. Romans ended up winning it anyway with another horse. I believe this was the race he was pointing to. What do you think about his chances in this race? Wire to wire?
Well, there doesn't look like there's too much speed to go with Silver Max in here, but I was going to try to beat him going 1 mile and 3/16 at Arlington, so
You've got to try.
I'm going to try to beat him going 1.25 miles.
All right.
The horse that's going to get the most play after Silver Max is Summerfront, and he's a great horse, undefeated 4 for 4 on the turf. All those races were 6 to 8 furlongs, and being by Warfront, he's a great new sire, but he seems to be producing sprinters and milers. So I'm going to pass on Summerfront also. I landed on the other Dale Romans horse in the race, Finnegan's Wake.
Closer.
He's by Powers Court, who should be no problem getting 1.25 miles, And I really like how this horse has been coming along. He won a non-winners of one at Churchill back in June. Really impressive final 3 furlongs. I think he'll love the 1.25 miles. And I'm just hoping that he can run these horses that look faster and sharper down at the longer distance.
Okay. I'm a big Silver Max fan. I haven't seen anything in his last 5 races, I guess, or however many it's been, that would indicate that he can't run further. But uncoupled trainer entry, you sold me on using Finnegan's Wig, so I'm going to throw him in as well. So anyway, some really, really great racing this week. Of course, the opening weekends of Saratoga and Del Mar. So once again, thanks for joining us on the show. I'm Tom for Pete, and be sure to check out the locksmith picks at bloodhorse.com. They are authored by Pete, and again, we thank Brisnet for the past performances. This has been That Handicapping Show. Have a great racing weekend.